Welcome to New at NAMT, the next wave of musical theater writers, a series dedicated to spotlighting the emerging voices in musical theater. Every interview provides a unique glimpse into the creative minds behind the next big musicals. So, whether you're a producer, theater lover, or even simply curious about the future of musical theater, New at NAMT offers a front row seat to a new generation of writers. It's time to lower the lights, raise the curtain, and LX1, go on New at NAMT. I am your host, Jean-Paul Yovanoff from Musical Theater Radio, and joining me each week is a rotating cast of NAMT alumni writers as our co-host. Before we get to today's interview, let's welcome this week's co-host, Nikki Lynette. Nikki, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So before we get to talking to our guest, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's been going on.
I'm a social impact artist. I'm a playwright, musician, rapper, singer, producer, and I live with a mental illness, and all of my work is centered around mental illness. And I did NAMT in 2022. It has changed my life very much, and I actually have some really exciting news that I'll be sharing with y'all next month.
Fantastic. Not for us because we want to hear it, but I totally get it. So we will watch for that exciting news. All right. Now that we know our co-host, let's get to the interview. Today we are speaking with Be Steadwell, the creator of the musical Dear X. Dear X is all about the big breakup. In Dear X, the protagonist, B, writes letters to her ex as she stumbles through the stages of breakup grief. This black, queer falling out of love story comes to life through the pop and soul music of musician Be Steadwell. Featuring an all BIPOC, queer, and trans cast, B. Steadwell's musical tells the story of heartbreak in a series of letters, scenes, and songs. Dear X explores self love, addiction, twerking, sex, life, and death through the lens of a heartbroken queer Black woman. B, welcome to New at NAMT.
Thank you so much, Jean-Paul. I'm happy to be here.
Now, before we get to talking about the musical, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the listeners.
Yeah, hello, listeners. I'm B. Steadwell. I write cheesy queer love songs and yeah, that's mostly what I do.
So, Dear X is a deeply personal exploration of breakup grief. So, can you tell us more about the story and what inspired you to write a musical centered around a series of letters to your ex?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's semi-autobiographical and essentially I had this really devastating breakup situation and I'm my bread and butter is music and playing music live, and so after the breakup I was just writing and performing songs about the breakup. I wrote all kinds of songs, and I think I ended up telling the story in so many fragments so many times that I really wanted to tell it in one piece. And also, like with any art, I think I needed the piece to be able to sort of heal through the pain. And, as we developed it and workshopped the piece, I got to work through the pain with community. So, like with the cast, who's part of my community, and then with the audience, we're all sort of like, oh, you just had a breakup. Oh, I had a breakup last year. So it was sort of it ultimately was a tool for me to get over it. Long story short, yeah.
Can you talk about the process of composing the music for Dear X? Were there any specific musical influences that guided you or inspired your writing?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really point to one place on a map in terms of influences, but my parents listened to folk and jazz growing up. I loved Sarah Vaughan, Nina Simone, Joni Mitchell, James Taylor, that sort of kind of group of folks. And then I'm the youngest, so my sisters were also a big, their music was a big influence to me, and they were listening to R&B, SWV, Boys to Men, and then also some grunge, some like alternative stuff like Bjork and Nirvana, Nick Drake. So a lot of different vibes, but ultimately I think I my style is like super cheesy, pop music and corny love songs. That was what always attracted me the most, and that's the kind of music I ended up writing. So yeah, so my music is corny pop, soul and folk inspired.
Can you talk to us about why it's so important to you to center Black, queer, trans, and POC performers in your musical and what it means to see love stories that center marginalized voices and experiences?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I I wanted to see a musical about love. I wanted to see a Black queer-centered musical about love. I I think that anyone can relate to a breakup story, and I hope that anyone, feels welcome to this story and feels seen in this. But the specific pain of being like a marginalized identity, specifically like being Black and queer, finding love is this hugely powerful experience. For some of us, it is the first time we get to really feel safe and seen, and it might be the only place that you feel safe and seen. And so when you go through a breakup, it's your whole world. It's like everything, your safety, right? Your identity is kind of like so wrapped up in that romantic relationship that the devastation of a breakup is really, really unique. So I'm not attempting to tell the story of all, queer people breaking up or all Black folks breaking up. But I think just offering a story for folks to relate to feel held in is really important. And just like centering and privileging people of color, Black folks, trans folks in the casting is also really exciting. I just want to see myself in musicals and in works. And yeah, that's mainly my goal.
I've heard that a long-term dream for this work is to teach the audience parts of the songs before the show and create a community choir with each performance. Can you tell us more
Mhm.
about that?
Yeah, yeah. The sing along community element is one I've been excited about for a long time. I think the separation of audience and stage is sort of unnatural to some of us, for some of us. And when I perform as a musician, I'm always teaching parts to the audience and singing with the audience, and it can be incredibly powerful to have a group of people kind of like create a choir. So my idea is to, if a theater picks it up, we would offer the audience access to videos and or workshops where they can learn harmony parts and basically come to the show and sing with us. And I think that really offers this dialogue and this ritual as part of the piece, and you can really feel the pieces, you can really feel the music, and yeah, everyone would be invited to sing and sort of make the musical even stronger with this whole group of folks. It's an idea. It's an idea. I'm haven't tried it in this context, but I really want to.
It's a fun idea, and I think that people will want to do it, and I would want to do it because it
Yeah.
sounds good. Looking ahead
Yes,
to the
yes.
NAMT festival and beyond, what are your goals for Dear X,
Mhm.
and what do you hope is next for your show?
Yeah, it's honestly it's as simple as I want um I want folks to be able to see this show. I am not I'm not a theater person historically. I'm not coming from this world, so being a musician, being a storyteller generally, I really want to share the work with as many people as possible, and I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm really excited and I'm open. I'm open to it.
B, it was great meeting you today and learning all about yourself and the show. And the show sounds fantastic. And I'm curious, am I going to have to learn songs ahead of time before NAMT?
I don't know if we can make it work for the
Okay.
time, but let me know if you need me to send some parts. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it in October. Where can people learn more about you before the NAMT Festival? You know, the website, socials, etc.
Sure, yeah. Everything is under my name. It's BE, like be nice to your mom, Steadwell, Steadwell, and it's my website, my socials are all under that name.
Thank you, B, for joining us today and introducing the listeners and the two of us to your musical Dear X.
Thank you both. This is so cool. So good to see you, Nikki.
You too. And I know that you said that you feel like you're not a theater person and that this isn't like where you show up in this space, but clearly you are because you got selected for NAMP and they are very choosy. And they need
Uh,
more because I'm not a theater girly either. I'm from the indie space too. And I
sure.
felt like I didn't belong in this space. And boy,
Mm,
was I wrong. So I'm very sure that you're going to find your place within this space. And if you don't
mm.
find it, you will create it.
I really appreciate that.
Of course, I also want to thank our incredible co-host, Nikki, for joining us today as well. Thank you, Nikki.
Thanks for having me. This was very fun.
Once again, I am your host, Jean-Paul Yovanoff, on behalf of NAMT and MTR. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in the theater.